Recording in progress.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshuvannmelitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale, Swayam Rupah Kada Makhyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for the Utkarsha festival. Today we will be entering into a very interesting subject, very important subject. You see, in this world, everybody is doing something or other activity only to either express love or receive love. Like a man who is eager to take care of his wife and children. He goes for a job, fetches money and comes and gives to wife, purchases saree for her, ornaments for her, purchases something from toys for the children. He wants to see the children happy, wife happy. And when he sees them smile, then he feels joy. So in this way, he may not even purchase things for himself. By selflessly showing affection to wife and children, he's feeling some joy. In the same manner, there may be a social welfare worker. Many of the people in Rasas and all, you must have seen some people, Swayam Sevak. They work very hard. They put their sweat and toil. Some of them simply sleep on the floor, or a chatai, but they work day and night for the Desh because of Desh Prem. They want to work for the welfare of the nation or for the poor people. There are people who slog hard to express their affection to the suffering masses of the people. So they derive some joy by that selfless service, by expressing their affection for the people. You will see that. So in this way, you will find in this world, everybody is trying to receive love and give love. Receive, everybody has that naturally flowing eagerness. Otherwise, without that, nobody will want to do anything in this world. You will see. It is not only for money's sake that you work, because after you get the money, what do? You want to purchase happiness with that, and that happiness purchase is done by exchanging love. Because we find that there are very rich people, if they don't get affection at home, they commit suicide. You have seen that, isn't it? There are many boys who are toppers. There are many millionaires, they have committed suicide because they could not give love or receive love from anybody. They found the life empty and hollow. Therefore, if you go to the Vedanta Sutra says that Anandamayo Abhyasat. Anandamaya Abhyasat means the Supreme Lord is actually in Taittiriya Upanishad it is said, Raso Vai Saha, Rasamhye Vayam Labdva Anandi Bhavati. It says that the Supreme Lord is actually a Bhandara of Rasas. He is an ocean of the bliss, happiness derived by exchange of love. Generally, people in this world know God as a creator, maintainer, and destroyer. God, they say, generator, operator, destroyer. Most people know only that. But that is a very foolish, limited conception of God. Do you think God is just creating, maintaining, and annihilating with no rhyme or reason in this world? No. This world is only a jail of the Supreme Lord. The real city is elsewhere, in the spiritual world. This world is like a jail. If jail itself is so beautiful, you can imagine how beautiful the city will be. You can think about it, isn't it? So in this jail, creation, maintenance, annihilation is happening, but that's not the main activity of God. The main activity of God is in the spiritual world. There is one verse which says in the Shruti mantras, Nadasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natatsamaschabyadikasya drishyate, parasya shaktir vividai vashuyate, swabhavaki jnana balakriyacha. See, these 4 lines are there in this verse. The first line says, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, the Supreme Lord has no work to do. It says, really? Then how does he create? How does he maintain? How does he destroy? Oh, that he does with his energies. He says, really? How he does it? Like in Pune, there is one Parsi fellow. He's got 10 houses. And he lives in one of the houses. And the other houses, some of them are dilapidated because they're 100 years old. So what does this fellow do, you think? He just throws money. We say now, throw peanuts and get monkeys. So he throws money and tells, hey, demolish that house and build a new one for me. And there are hundreds of men coming together to do that. Because with money, he purchases labor. And that's how he gets it all done. He doesn't have to take a hammer and just sing and beat and break the house and build the house. Similarly, don't expect God to come and create the world and maintain the world and destroy the world. That is not his activity. He does it through his energies. So one of the energies is money, isn't it? So Krishna has Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, one of the energies of the Lord, Shakti. Like that, he has many Shakti, Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Similarly, there is Brahma Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, Shiva Shakti. Similarly, there is Antaranga Shakti, Bhairanga Shakti, Taras Shakti. Similarly, he has Sambit Shakti, Hladini Shakti, and Sandhini Shakti. Similarly, he has kinetic Shakti, potential Shakti, electrical Shakti, chemical Shakti. All this can be included as Shaktis of the Lord, energies. And he can very easily do these things in this world. It doesn't take him a big deal. But then what does he do? Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. He has no work to do. But he has one very important work to do. Do you know what? That is enjoying Leela with his devotees. That is his main activity. Just like sometimes you go to a Jamindar's house. Jamindar has no work to do at all because he has all servants, hundreds of servants. Somebody is there to cook, somebody is there to wash the clothes, somebody is there to clean the house, and somebody is there to do the gardening. Somebody is there to keep be a watchman at the door. He has got everybody. at his beck and call. They will all do the work for him. But sometimes the Zamindar comes to the garden and takes a hose pipe and is watering the plants. Do you think he's paid salary for doing that? Huh? He's a Zamindar. He pays salary to everybody else. Nobody pays him salary. Then why is he taking the hose pipe and doing that? Is Leela. He likes to do sometimes gardening, sometimes producing flowers. So he may do it as just for joy, just for a change. He may do that. Similarly, Lord Krishna also, he has no work to do. He has his energies to do all the work. But he has a tendency to be playful. God has a tendency to be playful. That is called Krida. And today I will tell you about that. What is that playful nature of the Lord? Actually, if imagine if a Jamindar is living in a big house with a long hall. Nobody is inside the house. He is all alone sitting in a chair like this. How a boring life would be. On the contrary, imagine if he has a wife and he has a dozen children, small and big. They all are wearing colorful dresses. Mama, Papa, somebody is coming and showing the mark sheet. And somebody is playing with a toy and somebody is grown up. House will be a colorful house, is it not true? Similarly, God eternally thought that instead of me being all alone, like in Brahma Jyoti, Shanti, 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 instead of being like that, let my spiritual world be a colorful world with innumerable jivas, living entities. And I will have my great Shakti, which is Srimati Radharani, Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram, Radha Krishna. So in that Radha, Sita, Lakshmi, they are called Shakti. And we are also Shakti, but we are tiny Shakti. Radharani's love for Krishna is oceanic. Our love for Krishna is only one drop. So we are part and parcel of Krishna, and our love for Krishna is part and parcel of Radharani's love. It's a small. We are a part and parcel of Krishna. We are a tiny part of Krishna, and in our heart resides a tiny part of Radha's love. That is our situation. So in this way, the jivas also are carrying little love in their hearts and running here and there, trying to give pleasure to the Father. But they give pleasure to the Father by learning from the mother how to give pleasure. Sometimes you see in a home also, a mother takes the child to the bathroom and she bathes the child in lukewarm water. Like the child is crying always. She bathes the child. Then she wraps a napkin around the body of the child. Then she dresses up the child, puts powder, puts the, kajal and everything in the eyes, and ties the, hair with a rubber band or something. And then nicely dresses the child and hands over the child to the father. And same thing Srimati Radharani does for the jivas. She cleanses our heart when we chant the holy name. We are very naughty, therefore we don't like to be cleansed. In spiritual life, many times we are naughty and mischievous and we try to escape. But when we chant Hare Krishna regularly, then we get purified and saved. She cleanses us and makes us very beautiful and then hands us over to Krishna. That way. Just like when you put kajal, the children will cry the most, but the kajal is very cooling. Similarly, when the Guru puts Jnananjana Shalakaya on the eyes, we make a big hue and cry, but actually it's very cooling. If one is attending the classes regularly and hearing the knowledge, you will get enlightened. One should never consider the hearing the classes a waste of time or, many other things are there to do, but this has to be heard. Classes have to be heard for our purification and elevation. So, in this way, the spiritual world is a colorful world with all the jivas, children of the Lord and the jivas and the Supreme Shakti. They all perform various playful activities, which is what makes the spiritual world a colorful place. Now, when we talk about Leela, play of the Lord, how he plays, just like even in this world also, for example, your mother and father, if you see when you were a small kid, they also play some game with you, is it not true? Like my father used to keep the hand on the table and I am supposed to pound on the table. So when I would do like this, he would take the hand away like this. Then my hand will hit on the table again and he will keep. I will try second time. So when he does 3-4 times like this, he would move the hand. And when I am not able to, I'll start crying. And the fourth time he will keep it, I'll beat his hand. And then he will say, oh, you bet me. Then he will actually, then I will be laughing that I bet you now. You can't escape. Your hand cannot escape. So why does he allow me to beat him? Just to give me pleasure and to see that the child is happy. So sometimes the parents are defeated by that son or daughter just to give pleasure to the child, isn't it? Like Prabhupada says about one country where there were 200-300 people waiting in the office of the president of the country, waiting to meet him. But more than an hour, president said, I'm too busy, I can't meet anybody today. All of you wait. After some time, I'll meet. So one man slightly opened the door to see what the president is doing. Why is he so busy? And he laughed. He couldn't contain his laughter. You know why? Because he saw the president was crawling on the ground like a horse. And the president's son, small boy, was sitting on the top of the president's bag. And he was telling, Papa, like that he was driving him like a horse. And the president was going round and round in the presidential room. And the man outside peeped through the door and he laughed. The president is having fun with his own son. So now the president of the country has so many busy things to do outside, but those are not as interesting to him as taking his son for a ride on his back and going round and round in the room. That gives him the greatest joy. That is, so God also likes that type of Leela. He doesn't like creation, maintenance, annihilation, punishment. He is not like a person who is hiding behind the clouds and hurling down thunderbolts, punishing the evil. That he has given the department to Yamaraj. He is not interested. Creation, he has put Brahma. Yeah, destruction, he has put Shiva. He's appointed different devatas for all these activities. Then what he does is Leela with his devotees. One time, Supreme Lord Krishna felt that, you see, everybody comes to my temple. Everybody bows down to me. Everybody prays to me for different things. Nobody considers me intimate. I want some devotees who will deal with me in an intimate way, like a friend, or treat me like a son, or treat me like a lover, intimately, and not deal with me in an outcharik way, in an official way alone. So Krishna thought like that. How can it be done? So in the same manner, one time Bill Gates, you all know Bill Gates. Bill Gates, a very rich man in the world. One time he was having a lamentation that, everybody praises me, respects me, salutes me. Whenever I go everywhere, crowds of people come to see me. But they all don't respect me. They respect my pocket because I'm the richest man in the world. So he was not happy at all. He didn't get a genuine friend in life. Then you know what he did to get a genuine friend? He went to one club by changing his bush. He kept beard, mustache, long hair. And then he went and played table tennis. And some boys were there. They became his friends. And those boys didn't know he is Bill Gates. They thought he's some other man. They couldn't recognize him. So in this way, Bill Gates was enjoying genuine friendships because those people didn't treat him like Bill Gates. The moment Bill Gates would show his real form as Bill Gates, then their behavior and colors towards him will change. They won't behave with him like a friend anymore. Therefore, Bill Gates hid himself. In the same manner, Lord Krishna, thought that I will not play God in the spiritual world. Rather, I will become, like equal friend to my devotees or subordinate to my devotees. Let them actually be like my master and give me orders, command me. And in that, I will derive great joy. For example, all of his students, when they go home in summer vacation, their mother generally will come from the front and say, Beta, why have you become so thin? Actually, you may be a fat boy also. Still, for you, for the mother, you look always like thin, even if you are fat for other people. She will say, why are you so thin? The next 2 months, I'll feed you so much. I'll make you stout like an elephant, she says. And she gives you a beating like this. And you feel you are laughing loudly. You are very joyful. Although the mother appears to be scolding you, she is even slapping you. Still, it's a manifestation of her love. So that love is very pleasing. That means even scolding in love is also very pleasing. Sometimes your wife tells the husband, See, today is our marriage anniversary day. So you have to return from company at 7 o'clock. Do you agree? Husband says in the morning, I have a lot of work to do today. But my dear darling, I will surely try to come by 7 today, he says. And then she's waiting at the door. It is 7, it is 8, it is 9, it is 10. He returns home at 11. And the wife's face is very, very small. She becomes so angry. She stares at the husband and immediately goes to sleep. She doesn't talk to him. Husband knows why she is morose. He didn't keep his word. And then after a month, again another day comes. It is her birthday. She's telling, see, for marriage anniversary, you didn't come back at 7. Today is my birthday. In case you don't come back home at 7, I will kill you, she says. So husband is laughing. He says, no, I will come, don't worry. And then he's coming at 6 o'clock only back. And she's very happy and they're having a festival or something. So now when the wife is telling the husband, if you don't come at 7, I'll kill you. Do you think literally she means it? Do you think she will kill him actually, take a knife and stab him or something? It is spoken out of love. Although the words are very sharp, it is spoken out of love. So therefore one should know, even love, anger arising from love is sweet. The anger is arising from love. Yeah, like Yashoda may be scolding Krishna. That anger is arising from her love. So the spiritual world is filled with so many leelas, pastimes, where Lord interacts with his devotees in very, very sweet manner. The exchanges are very, very pleasing to our hearts. So that is spiritual world all about. Like now today's topic you can see here, reverential admiration and spontaneous affection for the Supreme Lord. On the left side picture you are seeing, Kunti Maharani is coming forward along with all the Pandava sons, and Krishna is about to leave for Dwaraka, and she is praising Krishna with great verses, glorification of Krishna. So she is actually not a spontaneous devotee, but a reverential admiration devotee, which means she has Aishwarya Bhava. Like I'll tell you some verses what she says. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabaya Vanavasa Krichrataha Mridhe Mridhe Neka Maharatastrato Draunyastataschasma Hare Virakshitaha. Oh Lord Krishna, we are all very grateful to you for protecting us in so many varieties of ways. You protected our Pandavas from, my sons, from the Varanavat Lakshagraha. You protected us from the poison fed to Bhima. They protected us from the Vanavas, varieties of difficulties. Now you are protecting our postmost child Parikshit, from the Brahmastra. You always have been protecting. We are very grateful to you. So in Aishwarya Bhava, people have a gratitude, thankfulness. Or she's also telling him that when Yashoda is taking a stick and running behind you, and when your tears in your eyes, that's very bewildering to me, because you are God. How can God be afraid? So what will other people think about you, Krishna, if you run like this? It looks like ordinary child weeping. So Kunti Maharani is not able to understand how Krishna can cry and how he can run away from Yashoda. Because even the death personified is afraid of Krishna. Bhirapi yad bibeti. Fear personified is afraid of him. Sun is rising out of fear for him. Moon is rising out of fear for him. Wind is blowing out of fear for him. He says that, Madhubhayat vativato yam suryastavati madhubhayat varshati indro dahatyagnir mrityuscharati madhubhayat. He says, there are a lot of showers. Indra is showering rain because of fear for him. All devatas salute him and serve him. How can he be fearful? So Kunti Maharani, due to her Aishwarya Bhava, reverential admiration, she actually worships Krishna like God. She's saying, Imejana padasvadaha supakvaushadi virudaha panadrinati udanvanto hyejan teta vavikshitai. Oh Krishna, by your glance alone, you see, the mountains are full of minerals like gold, silver, and diamond. The gardens are full of blooming flowers. The trees are laden with ripened fruits. The rivers are full of water. The oceans are supplying navaratnas. The cows' udders are filled with milk. And they are running hither and thither. The udders are moving and producing milk, and the milk is making milk kitchen on the floor, the ground and the fields. The fields are producing abundant crops. It is only by your glance, she's telling. So in this way, Kunti Maharani is admiring Krishna in varieties of ways, treating him as God. On the right side, you find the picture of Yashoda. She doesn't treat Krishna as God at all. She treats Krishna as her own baby. She sees him like, oh, this is my dependent child. He's afraid of thunderbolt when there is a thunderbolt in the sky. I have to protect him. And, the monkey should not scratch his body, which is like a Nilamani. She has concerns for protecting him. She has to make butter and feed him. So this is Yashoda, which is called spontaneous affection, Swabhavik Prem. She has a very intense love for Krishna as a child, Vaatsalya Rasa we say. Now we will enter into the session now. You can see this. Please read, one of you read it. Vaibhav, you can read it.
Is contemplation on God's greatness superior to active service with senses? Father Wallace.
When Prabhupada went to America, so one Father Wallace met him. So Prabhupada is talking to him. Read that, Father Wallace.
Was of the opinion that passive mystic contemplation on the greatness of God was perhaps higher than active service. Prabhupada did not.
So what was Father Wallace thinking? He was a Christian father. He was telling Prabhupada, Swamiji, your people are dancing, singing, and they're going for distributing your books in the marketplace, So they're cooking, cleaning, washing, doing activities. Okay, let them do it. I think they're all chotu, they're all small people. After they do it for 10 years, 20 years, then they may come to a stage like us when we, sit in meditation and think of the greatness of God, how big God is, and we don't do any activity, we become inactive at that time. Like that he was telling. And what Prabhupada said?
Prabhupada did not agree. Such contemplation on God's greatness, he said, was called neutrality.
That means 0, 0. That is neutrality means 0, 0. Prabhupada said, from a negative axis, you can come to 0, 0. That is greatness of God. But beyond 0, 0, when you go to positive axis, the active service starts after that, he said. Yeah.
The marginal state between material life and spiritual life. Real devotion, Prabhupada explained, began after this neutral stage. After realizing the greatness of God, one would realize that all his activities in the world were more or less a useless waste of time. Then one would naturally desire to actively render service to God.
If you all take a vertical axis, the negative axis is useless activities happening in the material world. People are running here, running there, making money, doing sense gratification, enjoying the senses, watching movies, watching sports, going to SL World, Disney World. So all these things you find their negative axis, useless materialistic activities that plunges in cycle of birth and death. But then there are jnanis who give up all this activity and they come to a state of meditation, which is 0, 0, which Father Wallace was talking. And beyond that 0, 0, when you go, the living beings have active senses, they engage in positive activities, devotional activities in relation to Krishna. And that is the real platform of activity. So this is negative axis material life, positive axis spiritual life. And the 0, 0 is going from this stage to that stage, like they explained. So why I showed you this, sometimes the jnanis claim that the path of jnana is superior, path of bhakti is inferior. Bhakti is for sentimental devotees who are bhavuk devotees, they chant and dance. But we are very mature, we don't cry, we don't become agitated, or we don't do any activity, we sit and do meditation. They claim to be greater. But Prabhupada explained that is not great. Greatness is actually to active service. That point Prabhupada has brought out very well. For example, a child, there is a school where the teacher is teaching something, some boys are creating some noise in the class. She becomes angry, she tells them, hey, you're, they make sounds, sometimes boys make sound. She says, get out, go and kneel down. Then after the boy kneels down, after half an hour or so, she will say, okay, come in. Now you sit in the class. So initially the boy was doing mischievous activity. Then he was given a punishment. But after the punishment is over, he was again allowed to come back to class and not do naughty activity, but do good activity, constructive activity. Similarly, we are all in spiritual world doing constructive activity, but we become naughty, we come to material world for punishment. Punishment is over, we have to go back and do the right activity. We are not supposed to become inactive. Not that the boy says, madam, because you send me outside the classroom, henceforth I will not come to school, I'll become inactive. Is it correct? He has to become active in the right way, not active in a naughty way. Therefore, that is actual real spiritual life, means real activity, spiritual activity, positive activity, as Prabhupada is saying. So these are the positive activities. Please read the list.
Chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra and follow 4 regs strictly. Follow 64 regulative principles taught in Nectar of Devotion. Study and
Nectar of Devotion, you will find, like, for example, coming to the temple of the Lord, bowing down in front of the deities, circumambulating the deities, taking charanamrita, smelling the flower. So these are all not ordinary activities. For example, one Purana says that if you smell the flower offered to the Lord, all your material desires will be destroyed. If you circumambulate the pradakshina of the deities, if you do, go around, then you don't have to do pradakshina of the cycle of birth and death, it is said. And if anybody enters the temple hall with a great eagerness to take darshan of the Lord in the temple, then he will never enter into the womb of another mother, it is said. So those who drink the charanamrita of the Lord, it helps one become free from all the karma bandhana. And then it elevates one towards love for Krishna. So each of the activity, like that, there are 64 activities he has given. Nectar of Devotion, you will be learning. They're all devotional activities. And how powerful they are, one small activity. There was one boy who was who took a flower bouquet in the hand. He wanted to go and give it to your girlfriend. He was walking. This is coming in Narasimha Purana. It's a Puranic pastime. But suddenly in that area, in Bengal, a lot of floods used to come. So one flood came that day, the flood level started rising. All people are screaming and trying to escape from all directions. This boy saw that the flood is coming up to the hip, up to the chest, up to the neck. Now he was holding the flower like this. Now he understood, only my head is outside. Now leg is also slipping, I'm going to die now. What to do with the flower? He thought, like, he said, Govindaya Namaha. Like that he said, and he threw the flower. And then he got drowned and he died. When he died, the Yamadutas came. But Yamadutas saw that he said, Govindaya Namaha. So we cannot touch him. They reported to Yamaraj. Yamaraj came. And Yamaraj said, my dear man, now you have come out of the body now. Now you have to go to the next destination. You have done a lot of sinful activities. You have to go to hell and suffer for a long time. But you also have one good account. 5 minutes, you will get Swargavas. Because we chanted Govindaya Namaha just now, a few minutes ago. And the man said, oh, really? Which one you want first? He asked, Yamaraj asked. He said, let me first go to Swarga first. He said. Then he was arranged to be taken to Swarga. So when he went to the Swarga heavenly planets, there he saw there are beautiful waterfalls, there are beautiful big lakes, there are swans and ducks, lotuses and lilies. There are beautiful flower gardens filled with fragrant flowers. There are apsaras singing very beautifully with veenas. There are other apsaras who are dancing very beautifully. They had delicately formed bodies. Indra was sitting with a mukut and kundal and enjoying the beautiful music. So the man thought, my Lord, I come to such a beautiful place. Everybody is so handsome here and all are well behaved here. So he was thinking that just for one Govindaya Namaha, I am getting 5 minutes Sargavas here. At that time, he saw the garden filled with flowers. He thought, let me do little more names of Krishna, he thought. So he took the scissor. He cut the flowers and said, Govindaya Namaha, Keshava Namaha, Madhava Namaha, Narayana Namaha, Madhusudana Namaha, Trivikrama Namaha. Either he said different names and one flower went on offering to Krishna, remembering Krishna in the mind. Now, what to speak of 5 minutes, it became 15 minutes and half an hour, nobody came. Suddenly he looked at his watch, why no one has come to take me to Yamaloka now? My time is up. At that time, one beautiful demigod came and gave him one chit. And he read the chit, he said, dear man, you were brought to Swarga only for 5 minutes. But in Swarga, you did so much bhakti, devotional service of offering flowers to Lord Krishna. Several names of Krishna you took and offered the flowers. So your Narakvas is cancelled. Now if you remain in Swarga and become Krishna's devotee, you will go back home, back to Godhead. Your servant, Yamaraj. Either it was written. So the fellow not only escaped from going to hell, but he had a prospect of going back to Godhead from there. Just by offering one flower at the time of that too, the flower he didn't intend to buy for Krishna. He purchased for his girlfriend that he offered to Krishna only once. So like this, there are 64 activities. Even in Nectar of Devotion book, your mentors can tell you. And when you go to the temple and do this activity, they're all very, very auspicious. So go to the next one, yeah.
Study and discuss Srila Prabhupada books with devotees, Bodhayanta Parasparam. Fill up Shastra Chakshu to see the world. Sing Vaishnav songs and shlokas with knowledge of meanings. Request your senior devotees to award you Krishna Seva and do them. Pray to deities begging for Seva, opportunity, and for spiritual progress. Accept all favorable items in Krishna consciousness.
Like there are many
Reject
favorable items, for example, A, B, C, D, E, they are all favorable items. Associating with devotees, studying Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna, and eating only diet which is Krishna Prasadam, and engaging in seva, all these things. And there are other unfavorable items we have to give up, like overeating and over-endeavoring, doing prajalpa, useless talk, debating, arguing, fault finding, and all those things we should give up. And bad association, those things you have to reject. Yeah. Then
always keep your mind and senses absorbed in relation to Krishna.
yeah. So these are all called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. See the title? Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. That Guru gives us order. Do these things, my dear child, and then you will advance in your bhakti. On the order of Prabhupada, on the order of our seniors, we are doing it. We may not love to do these items now, because sometimes when you chant, mind is wandering, you feel like getting up and doing something else. Despite our mind not wanting, still we do it. A little bit of force is applied. It's for our good only. Yeah. Like you see here, the baby, the ability to walk is there in the baby innately. Therefore, you see, slowly he's crawling, getting up and starts walking with little help. Later on, he'll walk on his own, like you all are walking now. I mean, the walking ability is there in you, right from the time of birth. Is it not true? In the same manner, some of your friends are going to tell you, hey, why are you chanting this Hare Krishna? It is so difficult. Why are you going to these classes? You are all artificially imposing Krishna, Krishna, Krishna on you. Some people will criticize you. But Shastra say, no, it's not artificial imposition. This natural bhakti for Krishna is hidden. Just like you see one more picture in the middle of this page, which is red hot coal. Red hot coal is covered with ashes. As that you blow, ashes will be gone. Then red hot coal will be seen. You're seeing that? Red hot coal, isn't it? So like that, the coal will be seen. Red hot. So the fire is there, but it is covered by ashes. Krishna Prem, love is there, but love is covered over now. Therefore, we are not able to feel that love at the moment because we have developed Bhogavrati. When the Bhogavrati is gone, Sevavrati will come. Another example I have shown here is magnet and the nails. The nails are immediately clinging, you see, to the magnet. Like that, our little jivas are clinging to Krishna always. But when the nail is covered by mud, then the attraction level is very poor. Right now, we are covered with the mud of Kama, Krodha, Lobha and all those things. Therefore, we don't see natural attraction. One more example I've given, the mother and the daughter. See, they're enjoying with each other. That little daughter is happy, sitting in the mother's lap. She is very peaceful. Mother is very happy in showering affection on the daughter. Same way, Krishna and the Jivas, they are very happy with each other. The pure platform. When we are not pure, we get ego. We do the false ego. We say, why should I be happy with you? I'll be independent. I will also be a central figurehead like you. Like that, the Jiva wants to become just like sometimes a son tells his father is a big doctor. Thousands of people come to hospital and salute the doctor. The son thinks, why Papa is getting so much respect? I think he's wearing apron. And he's also wearing a stethoscope. So he tells his father, Papa, give that. You give me the apron and stethoscope and you get out of your seat. I will sit in your seat. And the son is thinking, now I will also get the same respect. How foolish it is. He's an imitator son. So by becoming imitator of Krishna, we only look like a fool. Because we are never supposed to be imitator. We're supposed to be very pure servant, joyful servant. So in this way, by sadhana bhakti, the bhakti bhava will come out from your heart. How? Yeah, like you all may be knowing priming, isn't it? Sometimes you put on a switch. Sound is coming, but water is not going up. You have seen that sometimes there's an air gap. So what do? You take a mug of water and put it. 1 or 2 mug you put, like that water will come. Then the water will be continuous. Then you don't need to put any more water. Similarly, Guru also puts little Krishna Bhakti into your ears and heart by giving you some lecture, preaching, by giving you some practices. And then once that Bhakti is awakened, it will be like a fountain. Like in villages, you've seen farmers start the motor, the water comes, like that Bhakti will come. Now you will become unstoppable in your devotion, but you have to be patient. So you have to do priming first. Without priming, you can't get that bhakti. Yadrachayamat jata shaddastya puman nanirvinno nati sakto bhakti yogosya siddhidah. Please read the translation.
If somehow or other by good fortune one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glories, such a person, being neither very disgusted with nor attached to material life, should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me.
See here, Prabhupada is speaking. Look at the disciples with so much respect they are hearing, correct, no? You can see they are watching Prabhupada very attentively and listening to him attentively. It's out of respect and affection for Prabhupada. So they have Shraddha for the information that he is describing about the spiritual world, you see. And also two words are used. Na nirvinno, na atisakto. Karmi people are atisakto. They are too much attached to sense gratification. They dhanam janam sundarim. They want gold. They want gold and silver and money. They want to enjoy the women. They want to have many followers, millions of followers, and enjoy this material world. They are too much attached to those things. And like Duryodhana, for example. And nirvinna means there are other people who are too much disgusted with the material world. They say, we don't want to live in this world, we go to Himalayas. We don't want to see anybody. It's Maya world. We got enough kicks from Maya. So they are too much disgusted with the world. Both these people have no adhikar for bhakti. Because if you're too disgusted, you become a jnani. If you're too much attached, you become a karmi. Now somebody is not too much attached, but you have some attachment to material world. Somebody is not too much disgusted with the material world, but you're a little bit averse to some of the sufferings of the material world. Then you are in the in-between portion. At that time, you meet a devotee of the Lord. Then Shraddha can arise in your heart. And what you will do, instead of developing disgust towards things, you will take everything and use in Krishna service. You will do like that. Instead of becoming attached to things and possessing them, you will take it all and engage in Krishna service. That is the speciality. Yeah, see, there are two things given here. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, raganuga sadhana bhakti. What is Vaidhi? Please read it.
When there is no natural attraction and inspiration for practicing devotional service comes from scriptures.
No. See, when there is no natural attraction, right now all of us, you are coming to Krishna consciousness at the beginning. You don't have natural attraction because mentor called you, you may come. Because you have been told to chant so many rounds, you may chant. Or your friends increase rounds, so you also increase rounds. But we may not have a natural attraction. That's one thing. And another thing is inspiration for
practicing devotional service comes from scriptures and orders of the Guru.
Correct. So your inspiration for practicing bhakti comes because Shastras are saying it, therefore I should chant, I should read, I should come to association. And also Guru has told me, or my mentor has told me, so you increase the rounds. So this is the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, we call it. But then if you advance in your bhakti, you come to Raganuga sadhana bhakti. There what happens?
When the inspiration for practicing devotional service comes from a natural attraction to pleasing Krishna.
Oh, natural attraction. For example, once you become advanced Krishna conscious devotee, the morning when it is 4 o'clock, you will jump from your bed. You'll be singing Mahamantra. You will be singing even in the bathroom also. And while putting tilak, you will think this body doesn't belong to me. This body belongs to Krishna and Guru. Like that. And then you will decorate yourself and dance enthusiastically in the kirtans. Study the scriptures. Go out and preach Krishna consciousness, distribute Prabhupada books. Everything you will do it very spontaneously with great joy. And also your heart at the time is free from anarthas. Anartha nivriti, kama, krodha, lobha, all are finished. Sada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye chetayete anaviddam stitam sattve prasidati. He says. So you will be cheerful in spiritual life, always. You will be satisfied in whichever situation you are put. And you will have no blaming anybody, no complaints at all. Just like, for example, in typing school, when I went first time, A, S, D, F, G, F, semicolon, L, K, J, H, J, tuk, like that you used to type in the early days, So that is like Vaidhi Bhakti. But then you keep on practicing abhyas. For a period of time, you can type 35 words per minute, that is lower. 70 words per minute is higher. 120 words per minute, high speed. High speed is like a rain shower. Like that you can type. Huh? So because I went for this typewriting practice in my school days. First my father put me in English typing. I finished lower higher high speed. Then he put me in Tamil typing, lower higher high speed. Then he put me in Hindi typing also, lower higher high speed. So I know how I was so slow in the beginning. Later on, how I can type like a rain shower. Huh? So similarly, you will find Vaidhi and Raganuga are like that. Vaidhi means actually we are toddlers trying to walk. But at Raganuga stage, very spontaneously our love for Krishna will be gushing out of our heart. With great affection, we will do everything. We will dance with devotion. We will chant with devotion. We will do sevas with devotion. We will take darshan of the deities with love. We will speak to devotees with love. We will be like love personified. We will not have any agendas. We will not have any materialistic goals. We will be completely satisfied. Then that is a spontaneous affection, natural attraction. Yeah. So I will skip some of them slides. Okay, here you see three pictures. Read who are the three people.
Yashoda, spontaneous affection. Devaki.
Now we have to go from bottom to top.
Kunti, reverential admiration. Devaki and Yashoda, spontaneous affection.
Yeah. And the left top title.
From Sadhana Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti.
Yeah. See, Kunti only had reverence and Aishwarya Bhava. Whereas Devaki and Vasudev in the jail when Krishna appeared in the 400 form, they did namaskar. When Krishna appeared in 200 form, they picked him up on their lap. So they showed both. Harim, Sutam. The two words are used. Harim means, oh, he is Lord Hari, very great. With the Shankha Chakra Kadapadma. And then when he came as a baby, then they took him on the lap as their own child, Sutam. So they had a combination of reverential admiration and spontaneous affection. And Yashoda had only spontaneous affection. She had no reverence at all. She never treated Krishna like God. She always treated him with intimate love. So if you see, even our Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister of India, if you see in Parliament, everybody treats him in reverential admiration. They all get up, good morning, sir. And when he sits in his seat and says, Sab log baito, then everybody sits. It's reverential admiration. But the same personality, when he goes home, when he looks at his mother, he will bow down to mother. You have seen that picture when he is bowing down to his mother and mother is blessing the son on the head. He may say, he's Prime Minister of India, you are keeping your hand on his head. But who can do that? Only his mother can do that, isn't it? So in that way, you will find the Lord, here you find Yashoda carrying Krishna. He may be God for the whole world, millions of universes. He is Ananda Koti Brahmanda Nayak, but here in the lap of Mother Yashoda, he is a mere child, like that. So that is spontaneous affection. You understand? Yeah. Here you see, all the cowherd boys are with Krishna in the forest of Raj. They are all on an equal level. So I will show you some verses now for this, so you will appreciate this point. In the Bhagavatam, it is said how these covered boys dealt with Krishna. Here it is said, you see. Okay. You all can see the verses. Kechit venonvadayanto mantashrangani kechana kechit bringaihi pragayantah kojantah kokilai pare. It is said, in the forest of Vrindavan, the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan, what Krishna does with his friends. He says, Kechit venonvadayanto. Some of the boys were playing on the flute. And other boys, what they were doing? Manta Shringani Kechana. They were having bugles, like buffalo horns, with which they were blowing. Kechit Bringai Pragayantaha. Some people are imitating the bumblebees in the forest. You've seen in the forest, zzz, like that they make sound. So they were imitating that. And then some of them, what they were doing? Ujanta kokilai pare. Some of them are imitating the kokil. Kokil means coo, coo. Like that they were making sounds. Ujanta kokilai pare. Vichaya vipradhavanto. Some people saw the shadow of the flying birds And as the bird would fly, they would chase after the shadow. They were playing like that. Gachanta sadhu hamsakaihi. They saw the swans walking very, very slowly. And they also stood next to the swans and they also walked slowly. And Bakai Rupa Vishantascha Pratyantascha Kalapibihi. They sat next to the duck. Sometimes the duck was sitting in one place and looking, hey, this way, so then duck would move to another place. They will also move to another place. Sometimes they would dance like a peacock. Peacock has very beautiful feathers, He dances very beautifully. So when Krishna, Balaram and covered boys enter into the forest, the peacocks very beautifully dance with their feathers and they welcome Krishna by walking behind. They all are moving their wings like this and walking behind, welcoming Krishna. And the cuckoos, they're all cooing and welcoming Krishna. So they are using their sweet voices to welcome Krishna. Peacocks are using their beautiful feathers to welcome Krishna. And the trees are giving Krishna very ripe fruits. And they're bending down their branches and giving ripe fruits. And the flower-bearing plants are giving fragrant flowers. Please, Krishna, take it. Everybody is in a mood to serve Krishna in Braj. Everybody want to give some gifts to Krishna. So the gopis cannot go to forest with covered boys and Krishna. They are all sitting together and discussing how in the forest everybody want to offer something to Krishna. Like that. So therefore the peacocks are dancing here. So covered boys are imitating the peacocks along with them dancing. Because Shanta Kishabalan, he's saying, because the Kishabalan means the monkeys. Sometimes the monkeys would make some kiki, like the monkeys would make sound. The covered boys would exactly imitate kiki, they will also make sounds. And the monkeys will be wondering, hey, what is this? Because sometimes the cuckoo also, in the forest, there are two cuckoos in two trees. One cuckoo will say, ooh, hey, where are you? And the other cuckoo will say, ooh, I am here, he'll say. But now in between the covered boys, when they say, cuckoo, the cuckoo will be confused. I am asking my husband, where are you? And this fellow is saying, cuckoo. Like that. Similarly, Arohantaschatayr Druman. Some of the covered boys, Arohanta, they climbed up the trees. Because some trees were like bending like this. So they would climb up and then they would come down gliding in that. To enjoy the sliding in the tree stems. Which are bending trees. And then he's saying, Vikurvantaschatai sakam, plamantascha palashishu. So in the same, not only they will be playing in the Tairudrum and the trees, sometimes they would imitate the movement of the frogs and jump into the Yamuna. And this different things are given like this. After all these things, see one more thing he said here. Sakam bhekai vilangantaha sarita sarva samplataha Vikasanta pratichayaha shapantascha pratisvanan. Sometimes Krishna would see a big well. The water will be very deep inside. So he would look in the well and ask, because echo sound will come, the well. Krishna will ask, Kaun ho, kaun ho, kaun ho, kaun ho. And Krishna would laugh and tell his friends, he would stop, gada gada gada. Hare, main usko puch raha hoon, kaun ho, wo mujhe puch raha hai, kaun ho. Ha 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 ha, like that Krishna would laugh. And then he would say, Main Nanda Baba ka putra hoon, putra hoon, putra hoon. Then Krishna will tell his friends, Hare, main Nanda Baba ka putra hoon, wo bol raha Nanda Baba ka putra hai, like that he would say, and they all would laugh loudly. So in this way, they would curse the echoes which will come from the well. They would play games like this. Sometimes they would sit next to a frog. And the frog would jump, they also would jump. Frog would again jump, they would jump along with the frog. So the frog will think, I am a small frog, this looks like a big frog, huge size. They would jump, jump, jump. And the frog would jump into Yamuna. So they would also jump into Yamuna along with the frog. They would play like this. So here it said here, beautiful verse is coming here. Etam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaevatena Maya shritanam naradarakena sakam vijahru krita punya punjaha. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, just look at these boys, how blessed they are. Even many, many great jnanis, they only get a glimpse of the shining toenail of Krishna, which is Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti emanates from Krishna's body. That's all they get to see. They cannot come close to Krishna anywhere. And there are other people like demigods and others who consider Krishna as God, and they serve him with reverence, like in parliament, the prime minister is served. Like that, they serve him from a distance with reverential manner. And those who are Maya Shritana, means Maya people, people in Maya, they consider Krishna like ordinary human being and they go to hell. They misunderstand Krishna and criticize him. But these covered boys, Sakam Vijarhu Kratapunya Punjaha, they have done crores and crores of punya in their past lives. Now they are playing with Lord Krishna at an equal level. How blessed these children are. So they are also devotees of Krishna only. But now Krishna has given them that pride and joy of playing with him, different games. So if you want to, like you see, Sudama Brahmana was a Gurukul mate of Krishna. Imagine if Krishna is one of your Gurukul mates, every day you get to see him in your classroom. Or if Krishna becomes your friend, every day you can play with him, go to the forest with him for herding the cows and calves. Sometimes you can make a jula under the tree. And this way they enjoy different games in the forest. Krishna, Balaram and covered boys, every day, morning to evening. This is the only work God does in spiritual world. You don't have job to go. You don't have exams to study and take tension. You don't have any duties to do. You don't have to maintain a bank balance. Spiritual world is filled with pastimes, leelas like this. See what all they're doing. This is Krishna's activities with covered boys. Some of them are his servants, some of them are equal friends, some of them are superior to Krishna also, like Balaram and all. So we will learn more of these pastimes in the next class and we proceed further. Shil Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for so wonderfully explaining to us that how everyone is actually looking for and trying for giving and receiving the love, and how Krishna is not just God that you told, that generator, operator, and destroy. He don't just like to do that. Rather, he is a playful Lord who does not do anything. Namam karmani limpanti, and Lord does not do any work. Rather, he just loves to exchange pastimes with his devotees. So that you told, and then you told us how contemplation is not greater than devotional service. It is on the neutral stage, like Gyanis, they are at zero level, but the positive level is the active service of the Lord. And then you told about Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, that we may not like to do, but still we do it, and we may come after some time at the level of spontaneous bhakti also. And the last you told about that how there is a reverential and spontaneous attraction, and Lord simply does not want to do does not do anything like we do in this world, just simply enjoys leelas and pastimes with his devotees. So thank you very much.
I also told multiple examples on how, chanting Hare Krishna and awakening love for God is not an artificial imposition,
Yes.
but it is naturally there in our heart. For that, what examples I gave?
Prabhuji, you gave the examples of a fire which is covered by ashes, and ability in a boy to walk, small child to walk, the father and the example of a mother and daughter who are very happy together, and or a son or father who is a doctor, and a son wants to imitate the father. So like that. This example.
Of course, son wanting to imitate father is another example to show how in this world Jiva tries to imitate God. So another example I gave was magnet and iron nails. So in this way, the love of God is hidden in our heart and it has to be awakened. And right now we are doing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and gradually it will come to the stage of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, where it will become natural and spontaneous.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are all very foundational. And I also told about many things, about 64 items which Rupa Goswami gives, that once the COVID opens, all the students can come to temple and they can do those 64 items. In our ISKCON morning program, more than 45 items are done if you come to the temple in the morning out of the 64. So you gain the advantage of doing those and you progress very fast in spiritual life. So thank you very much. So depending on the programs tomorrow and day after, I will come accordingly. Thank you.
Let us thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting one time. Hari Bol! Hare Krishna. So for all of you, we will have a program tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So tomorrow is Saturday and day after tomorrow also at 4 o'clock. So kindly come on time at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Hare Krishna. So this is all for now. We'll end here.